Hi, I'm James the Ragamuffins, and we finally have our Download Festival 2025 first announcement. We know our headliners, we know the kind of form it's going to take, and in a way, potentially the future of how Download's going to start to look in the way that some of the acts are. So let's take a bit of a deeper look into it. Now, we're not going to mess around, we'll just go straight into it. Headliners, Green Day, Sleep Token, Korn. Now, I did have a bet with Dan. We had a £20 bet that I thought Sleep Token were going to headline, and they are. Not mad about it in any way. I think the production level is going to be insane, especially at night there. I'm very interested to see what they're going to do. And probably one of the more controversial bookings for most people. I would say you're going to get a lot of the old guard of Download in particular, where it doesn't really cater towards them necessarily, and they're probably a bit mad about this lineup in general. But I think, before going to the other headliners anyway, I think it's fresh. I think it's a nice new approach. This is a fast ascension they've had in their career anyway, and very deserved. And they draw. They fucking draw. You can't deny it. You look at their tours they've done. They're now doing arenas, pretty much all selling out. They deserve the spot, and it's lovely to see a band from the UK rise up and become a Download headliner that quickly. So that's awesome. Skip straight into Saturday there. Let's go back to Friday, Green Day. Now, this shows a bit more of a diversity, and where maybe Reading and Leeds has started to move away from some of the rockier, their heavier acts in some regards as a headliner status potentially anyway. We're starting to get that here, where we've had the rumours about Foo Fighters for years. We've heard about Green Day for years. Blink's been mentioned. We've got that here. We've got Green Day. Now, personally, I fucking love this. 10-year-old me is incredibly happy right now, like when he found American Idiot, when I saw that music video back in the day. Completely fell in love with them, and they were a massive pathway band into me getting into heavier bands. So I love this. I finally get to relive some of my childhood again after seeing Busted last year. I get Green Day now, so I'm very excited for that. I think it's going to be so much fun. You will catch me in the pit for Basket Case. It'll be happening. Third headliner, Korn. Now again, a little bit controversial for some people because people will say they're not much of a draw. They are the old guard essentially, pretty much from this lineup. Although Green Day and Korn both came about like in the mid-90s in particular. I think Korn are seen as older by metal fans, I think, in a way. Maybe because obviously they've been to Download. I think this would be their 8th time potentially being on the festival. And finally that headliner status. I think you look back at it, you look at 22, I think it is, when they subbed under Biffy. It was noticeable if you were that there was a fucking huge crowd for Korn, and that crowd dissipated by the time Biffy came on. It was a lot quieter than you would expect from a headliner in terms of people actually attending that. So I'm personally excited about it. I fucking love new metal. I think this is incredible. Seeing these three headliners together as something new, fresh, none of them ever headlining it, I think it shows that Download, I think, are listening to some of their audience where we need newer bands being promoted. We had that with Bring Me the Horizon, obviously, with an incredible set that they did. And with this now, this makes me fucking excited for the Download future, to be honest. It was getting a bit questionable whether we're going to start getting the same bands over and over again. But this is fresh, this is new, and I love it. Now we move on to the middle section we've got here, which is some of the logo bands we've got. We've got Weezer, Bullet for My Valentine, Jimmy Eat World, Don Broco, Spirit Box, Frank Carter with the Sex Pistols, Within Temptation, The Darkness and Steel Panther, McFly, Apocalyptica, Cradle of Filth, Lorna Shore and Sixth. Now, not many of these particularly will draw for me and that I want to go to. They fit the lineups. You can see Weezer being the sub for Green Day, and then Jimmy Eat World on that day immediately. It just makes perfect sense, especially with day tickets. I think with Sleep Token, you'd pair them very easily with Spirit Box. That makes sense perfectly. The Darkness and Steel Panther draw the same audience similarly, so that's going to appeal to those. McFly's a rogue one. Now, obviously, we had Busted last year and went down a treat, in my opinion. I loved it. That tent was packed. So it'll be a bit interesting to see where they're build on this lineup properly. I reckon maybe a tent headliner again, kind of similar to how Busted were last year. I love the addition of Lorna Shore again. An incredible band. Hopefully seeing them in a better spot higher up on the bill with this now, which is lovely. Having a better spot on main stage I think would be cool, because again, they drew a big crowd for their last time there. Spirit Box as well. I think last time they were there was 22. They packed out that tent, and obviously the exponential growth they've had as a band has been incredible to watch. So I think that's going to be a phenomenal set to see live. Now we'll go a little bit further down the bill. I'm just going to kind of pick off a few in particular that make me excited in this. Bleed From Within, they were phenomenal there last year. Really enjoyed their set, so very happy to see them back there. Boston Manor, another band that have had incredible growth. Feels like they've been a staple of Trees in the past couple of years in particular, so I'm very excited to see where they end up when we look in the stage splits and the timings throughout the day. I think that'd be very interesting to see. Ghost Inside, they headlined a tent in 22. Interestingly, Sleep Token subbed them in that tent, I believe, if I recollect right. I love the Ghost Inside, an incredible band. Slam Dunk performance earlier this year was amazing, so very excited by that. Meshuggah, I find it interesting to see them this kind of low down on the bill. I thought they'd be a bit of a higher logo band potentially, so I do find that very interesting. Bit confused by the placement there for it, but we'll see where they turn up. Polaris, metalcore band I love. After seeing them at the Beartooth show recently, I have been jamming their music pretty constant, to be fair, so I'm in the middle of a massive Polaris binge and seeing this on there, James is happy. And the last one I want to make a note on actually is Whitechapel. Always been a band that I've been intrigued to see. I'm very much a Fringe fan, although starting to kind of get into them a little bit more. So very interested to actually finally see them live. They were going to play a local venue to us a couple of years ago, but that show ended up getting cancelled, I think, in the pandemic. So finally get my chance to see Whitechapel, hear Saw As The Law live, and Phil Bozeman's immense vocals. And finally, we've got these bottom layer bands here. Again, I'll just pick out a few in particular. Fit for an Autopsy, I'm seeing them live in a couple of weeks on their UK run. A phenomenal band. I love their music. They pretty much are what got me into deathcore, to be honest, after hearing What the Future Holds, going back through discography. And then the Nothing That Is that came out recently is an incredible album, probably going to end up in my album of the year contention list. Look forward to seeing our awards coming soon for that. I think that's phenomenal. Seeing Graphic Nature back there again, an incredible live band as always. We've said enough good things about Graphic Nature on this, but let's say some more. Again, incredible sophomore album earlier this year, and always put on such an incredible live show. They're just solid, and it just feels like the growth is constant. They just keep improving, and just as such a solid band. I think we look back at Burn It Down Festival when they were there this year, and we look back and looked at our favourite kind of acts and stuff, and it felt like it's just a given that you say Graphic Nature, one of the favourites of the time that you were there. It's just so strong in how they deliver it, strong messages through the music, and absolutely impeccable live. So excited about that. Lovely to see local boys Lestelle on there. They're very near to where we are. So to see that representation, I think it's strong, and to see all these up and coming bands, many in here anyway, to be coming up and having big slots here at Download Festival, the premier festival for rock and metal in the UK. I think it's phenomenal to see that. So big up Lastelle for that. And right next to them, Loathe, surprisingly lower down as well. I thought they maybe would have got a note in a little bit higher. Now I know we haven't had anything from Loathe in quite a while, so who knows if we actually get new music before Download. Supposedly there's been an album in the works since 2022, so we'll see what happens. Always an incredibly exciting live band, and put on a fantastic show. Maybe we get new music, I don't know. Last one I mentioned in particular for me will be Split Chain. Saw them live for the first time at Burn It Down Festival, and we were lucky enough to go and have a chat with them, so you can go and check out the interview with them. Amazing live band. I was really blown away by their set. Phenomenal live, and for a first time I just felt completely engaged in everything I was watching, and just brings back incredible memories of that festival in particular, which is incredible. And so to kind of see that on here straight away again, for me, I'm very excited. Now there are loads of other bands on there obviously, so let me know down below who you're most excited for. Let me know what you think of this lineup. Are you excited by Download? Is this going to get you there? Have you already got a ticket, and are you looking at selling it for any stupid reason? I think this is incredible. It's fresh, it's new. Download is moving towards the future, which is exciting. We can't have the same bands being recycled, I think, time and time again. We have to have that freshness, that breath coming through of the new young blood, essentially. Even though Green Day and Korn aren't exactly really young blood, you couldn't really say that. But we've got fresh headliners. We've got new headliners, and I'm excited, man. Like, we've been speaking in group chats today about this and the speculation or the rumours. Pretty much the rumours were set on on Green Day Sleep Token Corn, and that was correct. But there's so many bands on here that make me excited, and maybe for me, one of my favourite download lineups, I think for sure. I think this is absolutely incredible. Very, very excited about it, and so I'll see you at Download next year. I'll be there. You gonna be there? Let me know. Like the video, subscribe, all kinds of good things on here. We've got some interviews, we've got vlogs, we've got our monthly podcast. Subscribe to the channel, and we shall see you soon with more updates on Download Festival 2025.